Right, Kara, Faie, Lilith, or Ragnora. Some pretty strong generals here. Faie is obviously the clear frontrunner, and probably the one I'm going to pick because I like winning. Hey, Atheist Madness, thanks for joining. Good to see you. I haven't seen you in a little while, actually. How have you been? Lilith is pretty good. Ragnora is pretty good. Although, last week I did a Ragnora run and it ended somewhat disappointingly. Although part of that was a misclick. I did lose one game to... I did put the nail in my own coffin with a misclick. I was behind already. But I think Faie is Faie, right? You don't pass up opportunities to go Faie. This is a good start. So, I think we can write off the Shroud here. I think Aspect is the clearest pick. And it's the sort of card that you can happily have 2 or 3 of, whereas you don't want more than one of these. You probably don't want more than one of these either. So I think Aspect is most likely to be the pick, but we can, in theory, draft around Snowpiercer a bit. So I have a lot of respect for Snowpiercer. I think, as a card, it's one of those things where sometimes it just sits in your hand and does nothing, but whenever my opponent plays one, I always die. Like, 15 face damage that early is so powerful. Or, you can use it to remove things, but generally it's just for going to the face. Haven't caught you streaming lately. Nice to be here. Oh, yeah, good to see you. Thank you. But I think I'm going to pick this just for... We don't know if we're going to be playing a fast or a slow game yet. And there's no real need for Faie to be a burn deck. Freeblade, Kindred Hunter, Flash Freeze. I really like this card, and I wish it was slightly more... Like... It has a very high ceiling and a very low floor. Like 3/3 for 3 with no text is usually terrible. 2 3/3s for 3 is insane. But obviously you basically never get it online because you need exactly a 2-drop Arcanist to play it on curve, and there aren't really many of them. I think I've cracked the Maeve code. Go on. I'm always interested in hearing new versions of Maeve. Definitely Aspect, yeah. I'm glad you agree. Flash Freeze is kind of a cool card, but it's mostly good for playing lots of Arcanist, whereas Freeblade is really solid, even if I can never pronounce it correctly. Freeblade is so good. Yeah, I've been impressed with this card, actually. Like, it always messes up your opponent's positioning, especially if they try and take a Monotile. You know, if they try and play 2 things in one turn and then it grabs their 2-drop or whatever, and then they have to contend with a 3/5. Cryogenesis, Avalanche, Crystal Cloaker. Much as Avalanche is good sometimes, and I think I underestimate the card. I don't think it's on the level of either of these two. This is one of the best 2-drops. And it's Vesper, so it goes well with Frostfire for one of my favourite openings in the game, which is turn 1 this guy, turn 2 Frostfire, hit you for 7. But I think a removal spell that draws a card and has infinite range is exactly what I want. Like, you can kill their 4-drop with it, or you can kill their range unit with it, and in either case, you can get some value. Doesn't mean we need to draft some Vespers, but I'm sure that won't be too difficult. Oh, yeesh. Well, this is almost unplayable. This is... It's probably not as bad as it looks, but it's pretty bad. Like, X4s are terrible. But an X4 that draws a card is perfectly solid. Actually, I think Necrocy is alright. So we'll pick this guy up. Ooh, legendaries. Bad legendaries. So, this thing, if it manages to get a kill, it transforms into a 4/8 with Celerity that whenever it attacks buffs all your units by 1. Or other units, I think. Kolma, I mean, it means we don't top deck 2-drops anymore, but neither do they, so it doesn't really help anyone. This relies on us having mechs with keyword abilities. I mean, it's really powerful if you can actually get it. But it's so unlikely. Like, I guess it's good with Metal Tooth Leaper. Hey, Roxanne, thanks for joining. I'm glad you're happy to see this. I'm loving this. I miss the days when I just played Gauntlet a lot. I stopped doing it as much because it didn't seem to pull in as many numbers on stream, but I think having a balance is better because there are definitely Gauntlet fans in the audience. What do you think of this pick? Like, these cards are all pretty bad, but which one do I actually go for? I'm playing a whole bunch of late game jank with just enough 2-drops to make sure I can get there. I mean, I have definitely done that before. I mean, I'm most known for playing Keep of Arth, which is like that, but with no 2-drops. We take Scar. The problem is we don't have a ton of buffs in Vanar. Frostfire doesn't do a great job of it. We can try and look up for Songweavers. Maybe Silver and pray to draft a Cannon. Cannon is a good shot, actually. Yeah, this into Cannon and Mech as well is pretty gross. But it is a 7-5 for 6 with no text. We could just play this and load up on aggro. Like, extra consistent early game curve, and then we just get rid of them all. Or we can try and make this work. Let's try and make this work. I think this is a more interesting build around than just like random vanilla. I mean, shall we? Like, it's unlikely to go off because it's still only 2 health. So they have to have a 1 or 0 health power thing in play. But like, that could work. We've already got an aspect, so the second one has a bit less value than it normally would. And that is a combo. We're also expecting to have some Vespers, like we need to value Vespers slightly more highly, so I'm also happy to take a Frostfire. Or happier. Yeah, go on. I didn't pick Skarsgård to then pass Frostfires. Ooh. Chromatic, Repulsor, Snowpiercer. Repulsor is quite good with Skarsgård, actually. You can pull in a like a Heartseeker or something and then eat it. That could be interesting. Chromatic Cold is better against ranged units that I can't reach. And awful stuff like Shadow Dancers. But I do already have Aspect and Cryogenesis to deal with a lot of that. So I don't need it as much. Hey, Icicle, thanks for joining. I don't want Snowpiercer over these tempo removal effects. I might pick this for the Skarsgård wombo combos. I think that's funny. Plus it's good with Warbird. That is hilarious. Also, that little PDF is like really pretty. I don't know which of you put that together, Jason, but that looks awesome. That's really cool. How often does it actually work? Is it just memes? As I would suspect. Oh, this is pretty cool. So Blood Tier gives us more removal, and at the moment we're just piling on the interactive spells. We've already got like about half these cards. Give us tempo. You can do it early as turn 4 and it's S rank viable. Oh, props to Alpha for that nice layout. It looks really good. I like it. Yeah, that sounds sweet. I'm gonna have a look at that. That sounds fun. I haven't like designed a particularly good deck in ages myself. I got some cool stuff together at the start of the expansion, but it was mostly just trying out the various trials and other build-arounds. So, Blood Tier gives us more pings, which is useful against ranged things. Can help set up Skarsgård in a pinch, in theory. Teams up with Cryogenesis, I suppose, but that's not especially exciting. You got a Fenrir or an Air Pridebeak. This card's really solid. Like, a little bit of extra healing goes a long way. Because people's Bloodborne spells, you know, come into play a lot in the late game, it usually does heal you for 1 or 2 points when you need it. If you get a chance, do click on the YouTube link. It showcases off 1 turn and is hilarious. I will have a look at that later. I'll just open that in a new tab and I'll watch it off stream. But thanks for the links. I guess the War Master is better at trading early and getting in damage. But we don't... This deck does not look aggressive at all. Which kind of leans me towards the healing a bit. Fenrir is quite good Dispel Bait though. And it's a good rattlesnake, like people usually want to come towards it too much. Yeah, this card's good. Right, this card sucks. I tested a Kara deck with this, and even with yours having +1/+1, this card is still awful. That doesn't do a ton, which leaves us with a big taunt, which I'll take. I do like me some Void Hunter. We've got a Repulsor already. I passed on a Blood Tear and was sad about it, so I might take this opportunity to grab one, because Blood Tear is really useful. Void Hunter fills a very similar slot to Fenrir, War Master, and Cryogenesis, so I think the Blood Tear is better to diversify our toolset. No, suppose so. More Blood Tears. Big 6-drop with no text. Terrible 3-drop. And we've already got quite a few 3s. So at the moment, in terms of card advantage, we have 2 Necroseers and a Cryo with so far no targets. 4 mana for 4 damage is still right though. And then in terms of card disadvantage, we have this Frostfire. And I guess the Skarzig, which needs combo to do anything. So maybe playing extra 1-drops is not so good, and we might want to bias towards having something big. We're a third of the way in. It has felt a little harder to get both card draw and healing these days, and we've already got quite a bit of interaction. Is this enough removal if we never see any more? To be fair, I don't think Double Alchemist really sways that one way or the other. I think I'd rather have the big thing. Healing Mystic, Songweaver, Fire Spitter. Normally I would just jam Healing Mystic here, but Songweaver combos with Skarzig, which I'm trying to pull off for the swag. It's also quite good with Fenrir and these little creatures that we have. So I think I'll pick this. We do need some 2-drops, but I think Songweaver also has just enough value and utility that it's a good pick anyway. Fizzling Mystic, Hailstone Prison, Storm Aratha. Well, this is card disadvantage in most of the time, and we don't look like a particularly fast deck. This thing is usually unimpressive, which leaves Fizzling Mystic, which I'm perfectly happy to pick up. This is both good range removal and healing. Very, very solid card. I really like this. Ooh. This has to be insane, right? Like, if you can play that and not die, surely you win on the spot. This... I mean, people do play Provokes. We already have some answers to stuff like Ironcliff Guardian. Coldbite is actually quite good. I've played this card before and it's fairly impressive, but I think I want to try out Ice Age. I think this card is probably bonkers, and if nothing else, I want to test it. I want to see what it does. Draugalord is a Vesper for our Cryo, and is also a nice little win con. Permafrost, no. Boundless Courage is good with Skarzig, but I don't think it's as good as having Draugalord in our deck. Ooh, Saberspine Alpha or Veil Hunter. I think it's got to be the Veil Hunter just because we are so low on... We have literally no 2-drop minions right now. Much as I like Kitty Mama, I think we need this. We also have a couple of buffs already, so it helps us... You know, it gives us extra uses for our Skarzig combo pieces, basically. Sword of Mechazor, Firestarter, Essence Sculpt. This card's actually alright. I'll pick this. Does it work against minions affected by Fur or Chakram? I mean the removal minion. Yeah, it should do, yeah. Crossbones, I think would normally be the pick, but we need Curve. Lost Artificer has no synergy, but is a bigger body. Aurorus Prophet gives us healing, which is really nice, and combos with Firestarter for some value. There is quite the difference between a 1-3 and a 2-3 in the early turns, but I think this thing has enough value that it's worth it. Legendary neutrals. Big old Giago. or Crossbones again. We kind of have, you know, Fizzling Mystic, Cryo, Aspect, Blood Tear, Free Blade, Repulsor. Doing a lot of that job already. I guess the deck has at this point largely become a bunch of bodies. Like, we have a lot of cards that are just bodies, so maybe this is useful. But this card is awesome. You have Justicar. I just noticed that, yeah. I mean, usually moving this is not necessary. Like, it tends to just stay where it is, locking stuff down. But that is funny. You think? Yeah, I think the Jug is the way to go. This guy is really solid. 2 drops. Healing too. But no. This is clearly Hailstone Golem. I am lacking in 4 drops, which is a problem. I've already got quite a few 5 drops that fill a similar role to Brightmoss Golem, and I already have some bombs, so... Second Frostfire with 1 Dervish Vesper. It's quite good on Tiago. It's quite good with Firestarter because you can make a 4-1 basically. It's kind of good with the War Master. It's also useful with Skarsgård and Veil Hunter. Double Frostfire is so awkward though. Concede Core Golem Poggers. Yeah. I can also use it with Ice Age actually, although it shouldn't be necessary. I don't think I have enough card draw to play this. I think like having something that can at least help me trade up rather than just being a tempo play. Although it's quite a strong tempo play. And I have like a decent late game. As well as I have a ranged unit and a Skarsgård to set up. I don't know, maybe I'm supposed to pick this actually. Plus you can just like, you know, hit the 2-drop and ping it. It's similar to a Blood Tear Alchemist. But even cheaper. I don't know. Yeah, I've played decks with double Frostfire before and they're always really awkward. So I'd want to have at least 2 or 3 more Vespers in the last few picks for that to work out. And I could just take this another solid 3. To be fair, I only have 5 3-drops. It's not that many. I'll just jam this guy. Ooh. Okay. So here's a 2-drop. What do we have that goes really well with it? Basically just Warbird. I only have 4 spells plus Warbird. Which does make this better, because I can pick up my Cryogenesis again. Or I can take this for more removal. I do like Sunset Paragon quite a lot. I think Paragon is probably better than Twilight Sorcerer. Even though Sorcerer can be good value, it's like... Bloodborne spells made this card sad. Circulus technically is a 2-drop, but it provides so little board impact that it kind of isn't really. Which leads me more towards just playing the AoE. This card can also get a pretty serious amount of card advantage. Ooh, the Moose. Or an Aspect. What do I have that goes with... that serves a similar purpose to Aspect? I have this. I have Repulsor Beast, which is a temporary solution. I obviously have the first Aspect. That's kind of it for big things. But it might still be better to take the Moose. Just because this thing is a really solid turn 2 play. Hey, Ghosty Tinner, thanks for joining. I'm alright. I've had somewhat of a downer day at work. My job's been stressing me out for about a month or so, so I've had every Monday I come home like, I don't want to stream, I'm tired. But other than that, I'm alright. I'm excited to be playing some draft, and I hear there's a patch next week, which is good, because I've been avoiding the ladder. I did manage to run into actually run into Evolutionary Apex for the first time earlier. It was like, oh, okay. That ended, I guess. It was annoying. I was only like 1 or 2 off lethal the previous turn. And possibly would have gotten there with a different replace. A turn or 2 before that. I think this might actually be the Moose. Although my deck is pretty full of bodies, I want to be able to play 4-drops. Like, decks without 4-drops really struggle. And this is one of the better ones. So I'm picking it. Ladder is a minefield. Yeah, I think that seems like an appropriate comparison. Patch should be arriving this week? Hell yeah. Hey, thank you for resubscribing, Matt Ratley. Quick sub might perk you up. Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. That's very kind of you. It's my lone stalwart sub. People from Duelyst told me on Twitter. I was at the patch is arriving. Yeah, that excites me. They normally come out on like Tuesdays or Wednesdays, right? It has to. The GDPR stuff deadline is Friday. Huh. Hadn't thought of that. That might explain why it's taking them so long to fix this Nemavor thing. Hello? No. No. Yes. Yes. That sounds funny. So much late game. Ooh, a Sword Avenger is nice. Or this guy. I kind of already have a lot of set me up in the corner minions, but then I also have like multiple largish provoke units, quite a lot of removal, quite a lot of card draw. So maybe that's what I'm supposed to do. It's not like this card's amazingly impactful. Whereas, you know, it draws a card, but that's it. Whereas, actually I say that, it always does slightly better than one would think, and it's a good Frostfire target. Nah. Ranged units. Oh! 3, 4, 5. I only have 6 5-drops. And like all this expensive stuff. I don't know if I can play this at all. Which makes me very sad. I might just pick this because it's a 2. And discounting... I only have a few spells, but like... they're all quite good to discount. Or I can pick this because it's A, a 4-drop, and B, AoE. Maybe that's the thing to do. Submaster Race. Yeah. GDPR is... what does it stand for? I don't remember. It's like data privacy basically. The General Data Protection Regulation. Yeah, it's EU stuff intended to protect people's data from being quite as wantonly used and handed out as it is on the internet at the moment, basically. You need the 2, only got 4 opening plays. I think you're right. Well, no, I know you're right. Let's just grab that bad boy. Suku, Chassis of Mechazor, Frostone Rhino. Why isn't this a Vespa? It looks like a Vespa, and I keep thinking it's a Vespa. The fact that it isn't makes me sad. I'm pretty sure this is terrible, but I've never tried it, so I could try it. It does also potentially work with Skarsgård. Eventually. Although it will also let my opponent buff their own stuff. I mean, I guess if I play this into this, right, they play a buff minion, then I play a Sunset Paragon, kill their minion, buff my Sunset Paragon, or whatever else I have in play. That could actually work out. And I could end up like, you know, Meltwater Moose into this, and I end up with a giant Celerity thing. This card always underwhelms me. 2/4 Force Field's alright though. I do have some buffs for it. I'm gonna try this. I've never played with this card. I've never played against this card. I think that's probably just because it sucks, but like, let's find out.